We are live.
Now it looks like we're live. You know, when we go live and then your internet gets like fuzzy. It's really weird.
What are you drinking?
Doesn't matter.
Well, maybe that's what's making the screen look fuzzy.
I can't see. Funny.
So Tass, so I'm sorry, what were you just saying now?
Oh yes, you mean my rant?
Yes.
We'll save that for a different Metzger Tassoul show. Yeah. When we do it, you know what we could do? We could do a live client call. We've been talking about doing that.
We could do it. I just, I don't want to board our viewers any more than we do already.
Oh, all right. Mr. Moore is ready for some easy secrets. Okay, well, then we'll keep the hard secrets to ourselves.
Hey, let's get our viewership up.
Yeah, Moore, send all your friends over. That'll give us 2 more people. I knew you were going to say it, so I beat you to it.
Good, Tass. Oh, yes.
And you know what's the best part? It's not like it's Zoom where they just can't talk back. They just have to type.
Right, we're in control here, baby.
All right, Mr. Moore. You know I'm kidding you, man.
So anyway.
Anywho.
Shortcut to success. But come on, guys, where are we at? Where's our peeps?
Good afternoon, Mr. Holly.
Mr. Holly. How's August?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, but take your time.
Oh, sure. August is shaping up, and but the excitement is building up because our school doesn't start until the first week in September. So all of our Meet the Teacher dates are August 31st. So we're making contact right now with all the schools to get them for Meet the Teacher dates and just like have an explosion of mass intros. And so I am very excited about that.
Tass.
Yeah.
Bob Poole said, you're looking tired today. He doesn't know the rant before we went live.
That's
it's
right.
Not tiredness. It's frustration.
Right. Frustration.
Yeah. And literally, your beard was dark before we went live.
I know. Now it's white. I know.
Yeah, it's crazy. So hello, everyone. Glad you're joining us. Glad you guys want to know if there's a shortcut to success. I'll tell you where there's not a shortcut. Spending time posting shit you don't know about on Facebook, that's not a shortcut to success, is it, Tass?
This is true.
That's true.
That's true.
Hey, call your friends. I want to talk about the idiots in our industry. We're going controversial today.
I knew that was coming.
So call your friends, get them on. Because I don't want to talk to just my friends. I want to talk to the haters too. So where are we at? Start tagging, start sharing, start doing whatever you do on Facebook. Let's build up this audience so we can rant.
Right on. Oh, snap. Well, good to see you, Miss Chris Rodriguez.
So, Chris, can you do your magic here? And how do we share this across all the platforms? All the other consultants. How do we do that? Can we do that?
He says so somberly.
James Cody Lockett is not a hater.
Beautiful.
Mr. Walls thinks I'm angry. I'm not angry.
Oh, no. Metz lives for this stuff, man.
Yeah.
It's a sick, twisted thing in his head that he just enjoys controversy. And by the way,
Perry shares it. Perry, are you sharing this?
Pass that on to me too.
Mandy, yes, passion. So it's not passion, everybody. Listen, this is like public knowledge. I'm not angry. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in our industry.
Oh, that was such a parent comment.
Well, I don't get, somebody says there's certain things bother me. What bothers me
don't sugarcoat it.
Is stupidity.
Okay, good. There it is.
Stupidity bothers me. Why do you think you bother me so much, Tass?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So listen up, everybody. Shortcut and talking about things that bother me. Well, our industry as a whole still bothers me. I think that's why we take our time out of our day to do this show, to try to help educate our industry to be a little bit more professional and a little bit better of who we are and what we do. And, you know, I do not get on Facebook. If you see posts from me, typically it's my social media director that may post something for me, or I'm tagged in stuff. Every now and then I may put something up, but I'm not on it. So listen, industry, I'm going to do a free plug here. Let me see.
Free plug. A
free plug. So many people were tagging me or texting me. I'm trying to find it. Let's see. By the way, from Dwayne Spires. So if some of you work with Dwayne Spires, I think he's very good at what he does. I've always respected the guy. I think he always respected me. But to take time out, he put a post out on how we're imitators and we steal his stuff. And then, you know, people are sending me these. Here it is. Here it is. So it's just disappointing because, first of all, like, you know, to take the time out. But so here's a post. And by the way, Mr. Spires is a consultant in the industry. Like I said, I think he's very good at what he does. We've had great interaction. I've always respected him. But I wanted to copy this post and post it on my page. It's just that not everybody at MAIA agrees necessarily. But here's the post. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. They even booked their event at the same hotel we have used for 5 years. So Chris Rodriguez on our MAIA team lives in Tampa. Roger Cowan in Oklahoma City, since we wanted to do an event. And by the way, we've been doing this for 20 years. We booked a hotel in Tampa that I guess Dwayne Spires does his events at. And I guess now we're copying him. I guess that we're doing it at the hotel, but it's the responses from his people. Is this real life? That pic looks so familiar. So glad I'm with you guys where success is created rather than imitated. You can see we are not afraid of competition, and or else I wouldn't be posting. If you guys, you know, want to check out Dwayne Spires, Brandon Beliso, Dave Kovar, like all of these people are really good in their own right, and they do well. Here's one of the things that you won't see the MAIA elite clients doing, okay? When you're hot, others want to be like you. You folks are obviously, let's see, I'm blown away. Let's see. Where's the good stuff here?
Get to the goods.
Like, I didn't even read all this stuff. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know where all the posts are, but people are saying that then they posted a picture of like their group, and we have a picture of our group. They want to show that they had more people in the picture, I guess, so they zoomed in as our group. You know, it's like, here's the deal, guys. As an industry, why would you be taking your time to bash somebody else when, by the way, these clients never attended one of our events? There are some clients that have attended both. I didn't see any of the names of those clients. The people that had posted stuff, like one person posted, yeah, all they care about is money. They told me to double my prices. Well,
for us?
Yeah, they said all we do is we've consulted, double their prices. All we care about is just the money, right? Double the prices. I've never consulted anyone to double their prices. And by the way, I've never heard of that person in my life. So they've never been to my event.
They wouldn't be successful because we always say triple the prices. So I don't know if they weren't paying attention or what happened. I mean, why would you just double?
I would never just double when you could triple or quadruple. And you know that. The other thing is somebody also said, we turn over consultants. You know, we have so much turnover in consultants. That's probably how we teach our school owners. And they probably have that many turnover in students.
Wow.
I'm thinking, well, geez, Robbie Beard's been with the team for 15 plus years. Parman's been on the team for 15 plus years. And by the way, was there something that Parman used in his school in Georgia that was from Dwayne Spires or something? Yeah, there was. One of the people Parman hired and did a commercial, never used it for consulting. You got it or found out that it was something like the same format or something as Spires, I think. I don't even know because it was never used here. It was in school. But now they've latched onto that. We've reached out to Mr. Spires and said, hey, we take it serious. Send us everything that you feel that we ripped off. Crickets. Nothing. Right? It was this video that was used, that was unknown, that was used in for one of the schools, but never consulted, never taught. But as I said, somebody had said, the turnover, double the prices. Now you're probably wondering, well, why am I taking time out to talk about this? Because I'll always take time out to educate our industry and how not to be stupid and ignorant. But I won't sit here and start talking about the stuff that I don't agree with on Dwayne Spires. As a matter of fact, if you go back in the shows, I've always said, I think he's very good at what he does. I will disagree with some of the ways that you can be successful, but I'm not going to take time out and start typing shit that I just don't know about because I have never in my life attended any of the seminars from any of these other consultants. So I'm not going to start telling you things unless they put something out that's public where I might say, well, look, there's a different way of looking at this. So it just bothers me, the ignorance of the industry a little bit. And again, I think Dwayne Spires is excellent with his after-school programs and his summer camps and doing what he does. I think he, as I've said it before, Tass and I, Parman is very successful at that. And by the way, Parman's been doing that for like 25 years, but that's his gig that we provide that information for any of our clients that want to do it. We don't want to do summer camp and after school. We want to teach you how you can do more revenue without that stuff. Because that's not what I mean, I did summer camp way before anybody else. I mean, I was doing after school pickup back in 1993. Did that long enough, could not stand it. Did it for 20 years and just didn't like the vans and this. So I wanted to figure out a way. How do we generate revenue in our school without the money grab? Of course, you're going to be successful. By the way, listen, you run after school or summer camp. Here's the problem. And if you're one of these people, the majority of you, not all of you, the majority of you that run an after school program or summer camp would be out of business if you didn't have after school and summer camp because you don't know how to generate revenue in the evening. After school and summer camp is more of a necessity for people because they need a place for their kids while they're going to work. So I call it a easy money grab. And I don't mean that as negative. Again, I did it for 20 years. But when people pay $75 a week or $80 a week, you know, to come to your school for 3.5 hours every day for after school, that's a lot of revenue that can come in. So what you do is you go from 14, and I did this. I said, I only want one van. I'm going to fill it up. Once I get 13 kids, I'm done. Well, I filled it. I'm like, dang, I think I can get another van and fill up another van. Then I got 26 kids. And then I got to 50 kids. And then what happened was my evening program just suffered because I was so focused on this revenue. Well, it took me 20 years to just come to the realization that I just don't like this. How can I generate that revenue but have an empty, quiet, clean school? And I'm not saying we didn't have it organized. I even had a separate bay in my plaza, right? But I still had to worry about transportation and the insurance and staffing or wear and tear on the school. So we do way more revenue today without any of that. My guys are obviously much happier. but that's a choice. That's what we choose to consult, right? We choose to teach you how to do that because I don't know anybody that was a martial arts student taking martial arts lessons that didn't think about, man, someday, if you were a diehard, someday I want to get my black belt. You know, we always say, man, I'd love to be a black belt someday. When you get your black belt, man, I'd love to be an instructor. I'd love to teach someday. And then when you're an instructor, a lot of people say, man, I can't wait to own my own school. You know, if I own my own school. I don't think anybody said, I can't wait to open my own school, buy 4 vans and start picking kids up and having them here 3.5 hours every day. I don't think that was the original dream. I think the industry latched onto that because you can make a lot of revenue doing that. But you can make a lot of revenue without that as well. Now, the secret to true success is if you can do both, right? If you could do both. We don't want to do both. I want to generate, you know, high revenue and profit without doing it after school or whatever, you know, and we have schools doing $90,000, you know, in 2,000 square feet with no after school, no summer camp. And that was last month. We had two of the schools do over 90, but they're averaging 7.
What's in a month, by the way? I always want to make sure there wasn't people are thinking, well, that was for summer camp for 3 months, or that was last year
for 1 month.
For 1 month.
That was an anomaly. The schools are averaging 70,000+ a month, and that's no after school and none of all this stuff because there are ways and systems that you could do this without it. However, I still think he's very good at what he does. But when I start getting texts blown up to me from his clients, by the way, from his clients, and they're texting me, they're like, did you see this? Did you see, there are some people that are just very disappointed in the fact that they would even take the time because we happen to be at the same hotel. And I don't think he thinks over the long haul that can hurt him, because I think as martial artists, that's not what you want to teach your students, right? Hey, if you have a friend that's doing something, take to social media and start making things up, right? Or whatever. And by the way, he's not making it up. We are going to the hotel that he was at, I guess, for the last 5 years. I've never been to an event. But then some of his followers or his people or his clients that are saying things about what we do when I've never heard of these people, never saw them at an elite event. Maybe I've met them at the Super Show, but they don't know what they're talking about. So it's disappointing as an industry. And by the way, it's that kind of mentality that holds this industry back from becoming more professional and better. And that's my opinion. You all can form your own opinion. So there's the post. You can go check it out. You can think what you want, but you won't see that from MAIA. You will not see that from MAIA, right? And Chris Rodriguez, you will never see or hear a MAIA Elite client talk down about another school owner. And if you did, they would be called and they would be chastised, because that's not who we are and what we do. Okay. So anyway, any questions? Anybody? Questions? And by the way, look, that was posted in a public forum or in a private forum, but it's been made public because a lot of clients are sharing it. I would welcome Mr. Spires on the show. I'd love to chat. That'd be great. Right. We'd love to.
Right. Well, and you said it, Metz. I mean, whether it's on this platform, we've done it behind closed doors in our private groups and things like that. We always let people know, we have our foundations program as an example. You need a consultant, whether it's going to be us or somebody else, find a consultant. So we've always built other people up. We've always talked them up. We've never talked down about other people. And, and publicly, you go back and look at 153 now Metzger Tassoul shows, and look and see how many times that we've ever said anything bad about anybody. It's always been uplifting. We've dropped names for good reason and letting people know they're good consultants, and find someone that's going to be a good match and a good fit for you. But I agree, good people can do stupid things sometimes, and those types of things just don't belong out there. And if we do want to change as an industry, the leaders of the industry have to be the ones to change first. And I think that's an important place to be.
As a matter of fact, we're the first ones to say, you want a shortcut? I'm going to just get to the point here. You want a shortcut to growing your business? Get a consultant and team up with someone who's good at what they do and that fits on what you're trying to do.
Right.
Dwayne Spires is one of those guys. Brandon Beliso is one of those guys. Dave Kovar is one of those guys. We are some of those guys. What's so ridiculous about this is all of these people in the industry are doing their best to try to help you in their way, the way they want to help you. Posting stupid shit like that doesn't help you or the industry. It's just ridiculous. It's juvenile. I mean, and that's where we get set back. And that's the stuff that bothers me is when, influencers in the industry want to do that, because I can't imagine why. I mean, I don't know why that we would want to take the time to do that unless I felt like some of my clients may jump over or leave or do this or do that. And I mean, I don't know why you would take the time to do that. Do you know how much stuff that if we wanted to, we could post, about things that just don't make sense, about stuff we hear from some of the other consultants in our opinions? We don't do that. I tell everybody, if you want a consultant, this is the Metzger Tassoul Show. So MAIA is available, but we also tell you, call different people. There are some people out there that I think will just try to get money from you and maybe not deliver on service. But for the most part, most of the people do have good things to do or say or give that can help you grow your school. And the shortcut is just that. Find somebody that's doing what you're doing. They're just doing it better. And decide who fits your model. And any of these consultants in the industry potentially can help you. But don't join MAIA and think you're with the best and bash everyone else if you've never been to their event. Or talk about we're the best. You don't know if we're the best unless you really tried everybody out. I mean, you don't know that, right? You're just happy because we've gotten a lot of people great results. You like the vibe, you like the culture, and you're happy with us. And you don't want to go anywhere else. And that's fine. But don't say that anybody, they're not good enough or they're not better, because you don't know that unless you've been to their events. Now, if you come to one of our events, and then you want to give your opinion, I have tremendous respect for that. Because you can give your opinion.
But it's how you give your opinion.
Right.
Right.
I mean, you don't want to knock people down or even attempt to. I mean, when I got those posts, Tass, I called you up and I was sobbing on the phone with you for what?
Oh, dude, I felt like I needed to go down there and get you a box of Kleenex. I mean, it was a long time.
It was
about
it hurts.
0.2 seconds.
About that long, yeah. It didn't. What bothered me is all these people that were just texting saying, "Did you see this? Did you see this?"
Yeah, got better things to do than look at that stuff. That's
exactly.
Sure.
So what? Let's see. Any questions? Yes, Mr. Lockett, 100%. I mean, and look, the people watching this show are probably the people that, enjoy our banter and sarcasm and whatever. Make your own opinions, everybody, but don't talk about any school that's competition with you. Don't talk about them. You don't talk about them because you had a parent come into your school and say, well, the guy down the street wanted to do this and do that, and they wanted to charge me this. That's somebody's opinion coming in, and then you can't just form your own opinion. Focus on what you do and do it the best you can. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about anybody else. Focus on what you do and do it well. And you're going to be successful and you're going to be fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what's the shortcut, Tass? I mean, first of all, I say the shortcut is finding a consultant, but there is no shortcut to success at the end of the day.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, the shortcut is stay in your lane, know what you're after, and stay true to it. And don't let don't let things get in your head and things that you can't control or that are out of your control. And this type of thing is where you're placing the blame game on everything and everybody else, as opposed to worrying about what you can worry about. And so as a result of that, like I've got clients right now that are talking about, the resurgence of COVID and the deviant variation and the whole deal, right? Or Delta variation. So okay, what about it? Like, what conversation do you want to have about it? We've already been down that road. We've already been through it. So now we need, yes, thank you, Mr. Moore. But we've been down that road already. Now we've had experience with that. We know how to handle it if it happens again. But stop getting in your head with excuses, because that's what they are, excuses about why we can't get things done, and just go get it done. I know for a fact this is the time of year that we all go into back to school season. We tell everybody, like, if you're teaching kids martial arts, your pool of people is in an elementary school. If you're teaching adults, they're in an elementary school because there's teachers and faculty, everybody else. So we teach people how to go into the schools and become a part in education. I know for a fact that there's people that said that they went into the schools and said that they couldn't get into the schools because they're not letting people in because of COVID. Now, I'm not saying that that's everybody. I'm sure there's people that went to the school, they did actually get that as an excuse or a reason. But sometimes when we believe something so much in our head, we're going to say, well, look, yeah, I tried to get in the schools, but they're not having anybody in because of COVID. But Metzger, you guys got into a whole bunch of schools down in Orlando, and there are probably some schools you guys didn't get into. My point is don't let these ideas and the things, external factors, control your thought process. You need to take action and stay in your lane and just go after it. And when you do that, those things become less of a distraction. It's like, and I'm not a race car driver, never was, but I heard when you're a race car driver and you're driving and you get off track and you're going to get in an accident, wherever you're looking, that's where you're aiming. So, you have to look at where you're going, because that's where you're going to ultimately pull the wheel and you're going to end up. Well, if it's the same thing as in your business, then look at where you're going and steer the wheel in that direction and stay focused on that. But we're like, oh, we got COVID. Oh, parents are upset about masks. Oh, we have to wear them. Oh, we don't have to wear them. I mean, 100 different reasons why you can get off course in your business. Just stay the path and you'll be blown away. And you've heard it before, you get what you focus on, right? Mentally, you get what you focus on. And those are the things that we want to, sometimes we need to have a reset. I can feel it in my body. I said the other day, I need to get refocused on some things. I've kind of drifted off a little bit. My head's not where it needs to be. I can feel it in my mind and my body when I'm not in the right spot. And I know I have to reset. And we all have things in life that will do that, whether that's our business, a relationship, COVID, any external things that are happening, a family member that passes or something that goes on. Anything can get us off course. And it's okay to get off course for a bit, but we need to redirect and get back on course. And that's how you be successful. And tying this all together, that's why you need a consultant and a coach, because they're going to give you the grace that you need and the time that you need. But then when the time is up, they're going to get you back on track and point to the direction. We're not going to take months, weeks, months, and years to like, oh, this COVID, or whatever the problem is. We get you focused and back on track. And that's the importance of what any coach will do, right? We know after an athlete loses a match or loses a fight, the time to coach them isn't in that moment saying, dude, you should have done this, you should have done that. They let them, they leave them, and then they coach them the following week when they're back in training camp. Now we start working on building those things that they needed. But after that fight's not the right time to do it. So that's the purpose of a coach and a consultant, is to keep you on that track and keep you moving in the right direction.
Exactly. And you know what? I'd like anybody that's on here that is not a MAIA Elite member, okay? Or even if you're in growth or foundations, that's fine. Why don't you come and form your own opinion and join us in Tampa in October? If Chris is still watching, you could post the link. Come and join us. Come to the 2-day event. And then decide who we are and what we do. And,
well, those of you that have been there, you know where it is. So you guys know exactly where to go.
Come back home is what I'm saying. Come back home to the place you've always been coming to, right? You can show me around, show me the hotel. I've never been there, right? So come and check it out. And by the way, we need more bodies for the picture. So please join us. Okay. So come to the event in Tampa in October. Look, we haven't had 2 super shows, right? Live super shows because of COVID. which I think we got bashed for that too by the same group, saying we don't care about our clients, that we're not doing the super show,
Nobody understands, man. Nobody understands the backstory and the logistics and how.
It's not. I mean, it doesn't matter to explain it. They don't know.
Yeah.
But by the way, I think they do. I think they're just trying to put that out there to the clients to make it seem like, we don't care about clients. That's why we didn't do the super show. I don't even know the logic there. I don't even know. But anyway, my point is, there we go. See, look, Mr. Lockett. Yeah.
Bring it, babe. We could probably do a cut and paste, copy and paste on Photoshop to make it look like we have twice as many people. That might be a good plan.
You know what? I'll get with Metcalf on that.
Yeah, do that. Do that.
20 years.
Clean.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, my point is there are shortcuts, and if you are running a school, if you're under 100 students, there's only one focus for you. Get to that triple digit, get to 100 students. That's what we got to do. We got to get to the 100 student mark. And then you got to make sure that you have the right systems in place to just maximize success. Now, here's another thing. It's the same mentality that we were just talking about at the beginning of this show. Some people watching this, when I say maximize your revenue with the students that you have once you get to 100, people that have never, again, come to an event, worked with a consultant, you're going to come to your own conclusions. All they care about is the money. They're going to nickel and dime their people, their students. I mean, what do we have to do to convince you that you are absolutely incorrect? The only way I can convince you is to try to sell you to come to an event. One event. Then I'll sit there with you at the event if you want to get your phone out, and with me sitting next to you, talk about how all we care about is the money and we nickel and dime our students. Because then I would say, well, what made you feel that way? And you would tell me at what point in the seminar, what was it that made it seem that way? It's the industry, though, as a whole. By the way, it's not the industry. It's human behavior. It's a self-defense mechanism, a justification on why you're not doing better. And you guys know this. Everybody, not everybody, but there's a lot of people that love to bash people that are doing much better than them. Because if you don't do that, you feel bad about yourself. You feel like a failure. You feel like, geez, we're not doing well. But you can make a change. If you accept that you're not doing as good as this other person in the same business as you, change your mindset and say, why? Why not? Don't make up your own thing saying, well, my students are better than theirs. Their students stink or whatever. Well, how many classes have you taken with them? And then you're going to say, well, we beat them in tournaments or whatever. I mean, it's just excuse after excuse and justification after justification. Open up your mind and realize you could be better. Stop focusing on all that other stuff and come and get educated and hear how to do it. And then decide if you feel like that it's, going to hurt your quality of instruction or whatever you think that's going to do. Right? Well,
we say this all the time too, Metz, but people have to understand it's not your way or my way, right? It's what we've learned all through all the years of consulting. Number one, picking up ideas from other individuals that work, turning them into a system and making them work for other people, and trying things. There's a pricing structure that's out there that we beta tested for a while that's not even out in the community, because we want to make sure that we do it first behind the scenes before we put out a product or something that's out there and know if it's good or bad. We're not going to give you things to do that we haven't done or don't have experience doing, number one. Number two is this. I would tell you, if that's the case and it's not my way or Metzger's way and it's a proven system by dealing with literally hundreds, potentially at this point, thousands of schools, why wouldn't you follow it? And so get a consultant, number one, then execute what they tell you to do. And I'm not saying that you don't need to execute without asking questions. You can ask questions, but you have to believe in your coach, and you have to know that your coach has your best interest in mind, and that when you're bucking the system, you're only bucking your own success. Because at some point, the coach is going to go, we'll come back to that later. because there's resistance. So I've explained it. I've explained why. I've told you the benefits. You're still not seeing it. No problem. We're not going to keep bucking the system there. We're going to move on to the next piece. And then what happens is out of 10 things that we give you to do, if you buck 2 or 3 of those things, we're going to get 7 of them implemented. But those 2 or 3 things are part of a bigger overall system. And I've seen it happen over and over and over. And now I just let it go on purpose because I know later you're going to come back to me and say, well, we need to get that fixed. Not because it's your idea. Schedule's a big one, right? Like, well, I don't want to touch my schedule. Great. So then we start flooding people into the martial arts school. We start getting their upgrade programs going, which I know is taboo. And then what happens is like, oh my God, my schedule doesn't work. Great. Now they're ready to listen and open the door and we can go ahead and fix the schedule. But if we would have done it from the beginning and just had trust and faith in our coach, knowing they have our best interest in mind, we would have overcome some of those obstacles that wouldn't have been challenges later on. So and I remember when I first started consulting, it was like, listen, it's like, it's got to be this way. And of course, over time and experience, I've realized it's just not the case. It doesn't have to be that way. It is the most successful way to maximize your business. But it's your school, it's your business. I can't push you to do it if you don't buy into it or believe in it and have full confidence doing it. And so then I just redirect, and then we go from here to there to get back over to there later on. And then it becomes, again, your idea and then something to implement. So if I'm paying for someone to consult me at the gym and be my personal trainer or my nutritionist, or I'm going to take firearms training, I'm going to make sure that I'm paying and I'm listening to what they're telling me to do because they're the expert. I'm not the expert. They're the expert. So when they say, someone tells me, well, look, you can't eat that food. Well, I've looked at it. It looks fine to me. Why? I mean, here's the ingredients. Why can't just know that you can't eat the food? And so, again, it's okay to ask questions, but trust the expertise and know that they have your best interest in mind.
That's it. And the other thing, Tass, we were talking about this before the show. The other thing that hurts people is when you decide you want to make a shift, we teach patience and we have none in this industry. I mean, listen, it's a marathon, not a sprint, to set solid foundations, to set you up for long-term success. But we have people that it's like, well, I want. It's like, slow it down. Don't we teach patience? I mean, what is going on in the industry here, Tess? What's happening? It's not the industry. It's people, right? It's people. But if you're in this industry, the martial arts industry, let's practice a little bit more about what we preach, right? And I said it before. If you're a MAIA Elite client, I don't ever want to see you bashing another group, ever. But if you want to put out there, if you see somebody talk, like, it can anger some people because people get very defensive. If people say like, oh, MAIA sucks, or MAIA this, or MAIA that. Like, I noticed that our people just don't comment. And we talk about it at the events. I'll put it up on a screen. I mean, I because it shows our people, we're a little bit classier, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, right? But if anything, you could just put how it's just disappointing, right? Because they don't realize what they look like, and I don't know if you'd want to teach students to do that, like I said earlier, but what you're saying as far as get a coach, get a consultant, with that said, I still think there's good information, right? It just that once you have a good consultant or you have a good group you're part of, you want to be part of, I would think, a good culture as well. And I'm not saying that Spires or Beliso or anyone out there has a bad culture. I think there's some people, right? Just like there may be some elite people, but they would hear from us. I wouldn't throw fuel on the fire and entice them to try to talk about other groups because we don't have time for that shit. You know what I mean? We got to focus on what we do. So my point is,
and how much time are these people taking away from their business when they could be out doing something else, generating a new student, generating revenue, getting a new student, retaining a student, right?
No, they're sitting on the van waiting for the kids. I mean, they're waiting for the kids to come out. What's the matter?
Oh, dude. That's good.
Did I just do it? I apologize. I just did it. You should be chastising me. So my point is, you know why I say that? Because I became a Tetris master when I used to go pick up kids every day from school. I would sit in the car, in the van, right, waiting for the kids, and I had the Game Boy, and I only bought one game, Tetris, and I would play that thing, and I was like addicted. The problem is I started playing it while I was still driving the kids. You know, that was 20 some years ago, or whenever Game Boy came out, late 90s maybe. But anyway, my point is there's still good information. There's still good things that can help you grow your school. I just want to, if I can, the reason we do this show is we want you, if you're serious about growing your school, focus on you. Don't focus on your competitors. Go out there and get involved with some of the different consulting businesses out there. Talk to them. What is their specialty? What is it that they do? What's their vibe? And go to someone, because if we can professionalize the industry, if all the competitors around here were successful, then the martial arts industry would grow. I mean, all of us would benefit from that. But it's when we have certain mentalities like this, when you're, not following systems, when you're closing down, look at this here. I have a text message from my broker, right? And it's the wrong one. But by the way, there's a great center here that would not allow a martial arts school in the center. Here it is. We've been fighting for it, and I'd show you this, but the thing is basically they don't want a martial arts school. Why? Because they're fly-by-night businesses. That's what we look like to a lot of big REITs, a lot of big centers. We look like fly-by-night businesses because so many of these shopping centers, these REITs that own centers all over the country, has dealt with martial arts schools that have defaulted on their lease, opened up just to close, is a headache. Well, this is a great center in Central Florida, high-end center, Starbucks, Panera, like high-end center, grocery anchored, and they said, we don't want a martial arts school. So I'm going to get on a phone call, and we just got the green light. We got the green light. Let's get on a phone call. Let me hear more about this group, us. Maybe we'll make the exception and allow you because you're a little bit more professionalized. We have 97 locations across the country, licensed locations. And by the way, any CMA affiliates on here, you could say you're part of 97 affiliate. We all benefit from being part of something bigger. You're not just like Joe's Karate, one little guy. We have 97 locations across the country here and multiple locations in Central Florida. Now they're interested. Okay, maybe we'll look at that. You want to help your competitor, not hurt them, because as an industry, we just start looking bad. We don't want us going open and closing. We want to thrive. That's why I'm telling all of you, hook up and check out all the consulting out there. Check them out and find someone that can get you to another level to help you be more successful in your business. What you got, Tass?
Just when you're saying the 90 some 7 locations or whatever, for whatever reason, the tagline slogan 10 million strong and growing came into my head, and I was trying to figure out where that was from. Do you remember where that was from?
Yes, but it's actually a jingle. 10 million strong and growing.
What was it?
What was it, man? Was it milk or something? What was it?
No, it was Flintstone
vitamins.
Yes.
Yeah. Flintstone vitamins.
Oh, anyway, 97 strong and growing.
Yeah. Now, see, Flintstone vitamins may put a thing out there saying we're 10 million strong.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
And they may take time out of their day to post that we're not good enough. He knows.
That's right. There you go, Mr. Coffrin.
Mr. Coffrin, it's good to see you. Go back to the beginning of this show and watch if you weren't watching already, because you're one of the good guys. You're a very good guy. Great school. By the way, Mr. Coffrin was an elite client forever. Still shows respect, but also works with the other group, you know, and loves the group. It's doing great with the other group. And I would think that he would, and everybody else would. It's just that mentality just was disappointing. It just was disappointing. So anyway, what else? Any parting words, Tass, about Flintstone vitamins or shortcuts to growth? Or, and by the way, you know, with our schools, we run multiple schools, but you have elite clients. Here's one, Mr. Nyland. Mr. Nyland he stood in this conference room. And by the way, I just got a message from Mr. Nyland, right? He started in this conference room when he was doing a couple grand a month gross, right? A couple grand. We just texted at 1 o'clock, right? He's 11. He showed me one of his students breaking a block. And I said, wow, that's you know, great job. And so he said he's 11. And he said, by the way, we're at 260 students last month and our student value was $230. So do the math, 267 times 230, and that's what he grossed. And by the way, just a few short years ago, he was so skeptical about thinking we can help him. And I remember he was with a lady at the time that was like, hey, you should try these guys. He was doing like a couple grand a month. And now he did, what is that number? Two question times 230. He did $61,000 last month. You know what I mean? And that's what we focus on, right? And here's a guy that, you know, came from the bottom and just followed systems and runs a great program. And, you know, that's what we like to see with all of you, okay? Is there a starter package for prospective school owners to reduce the open to close risk? Yes, Mr. Curry. There's not a starter package. We have a to-do list and what we do to prepare for opening a school. But what I would tell you is to reduce your risk. I always like to get a base of students. And Mr. Silverman, my business partner, started in a YMCA teaching. I started in elementary schools renting out cafeteria space at night. And you started where, Tass?
In a health club. And actually, that's not true. My first school was in I'll call it commercial location. It was in a strip center behind the shopping center, which was extremely cheap rent. And it's only because my martial arts school that I attended had moved from there into a different location. It was just easy. And I'll never forget that deal, by the way. I was 19 and I negotiated a free month's rent, and you thought I would won the lottery. And my rent was $450 a month in that location back in the day. And then I did that for about 9 months and realized that it just wasn't working out. So long story short, met a guy and then went into a health club. And then we built our school up over 100 students at the health club.
That's the best way to do it without risk. Silverman was in a YMCA. I rented out cafeteria space in elementary schools. He was in a health club. I built my program up. I was teaching in five different elementary schools, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night from 6:30 to 7:30, and 3:30 on Tuesday and Wednesday at 3:30 in the afternoon. I did something right after school. I built my clientele up to 100 and some students. And then I opened up a school when summer hit, and 80 of those students followed me. And I opened my doors with 80 students. And you want to keep expenses low. So my first school was 989 square feet, very small. Within 6 months, though, I moved in that center across the center to 1,650 square feet. And I was like nervous. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I was in 1,650. Then I moved 2 doors over eventually into 3,600 square feet in that plaza. And then I moved over in that center to over 4,000 square feet. But that was before I knew how to maximize mat space. And it was all about like numbers of students. Today, I would not do a school 4,000 square feet. I would not do that. I like schools that are around 2,400, 21 to 2,400 square feet, really 2,200 to 2,400 square feet. because the risk is lower, easier to manage, and you can give more opportunities to your people once you build up team and people to be able to duplicate that model and keep the quality high, profitability high, and service high, as opposed to having a big, massive school, which there's a system for that. And there are some people that do that very, very well. But for me, if you come to Orlando, you'll see we have schools that are like 3.5 miles, 3 to 3.5 miles apart. And we provide opportunities. You know, the two schools that I mentioned last month, one did 94,000, one did 92,000. They were both 2,000 square feet, and they're just less than 3 miles apart on the same road. And we generated $186,000 in that corridor with 2 units, you know, at 2,000.
No after school and no summer camp, just to be clear.
Right, exactly. And again, because I've done that for many years. So, and then what's on the to-do list for opening? You know, by the way, like 6 weeks typically before we're even open, when you're building out your space, we'll run normal hours, but we had a staff. If you don't, go there on the weekends. You set up a table and you're doing pre-registrations. You're doing intro lessons. We actually had people going inside even when we were doing build out, and we would do like 15, 20-minute evaluation lessons. We would get flyers. People say social media is everything today. It's huge. You got to do that. But even when we opened our last school, we did a direct mailer to the home. We did a full page ad in the newspaper. And then people say, no one reads the paper anymore. Well, you know who reads the paper? The people who subscribe to get the paper. So you're only paying for the people that are subscribing to get the paper. So we did full page ads in the paper, flyers, signs, went to Publix, went to different grocery stores. They were putting flyers in the bag, you know, and we did social media blasts. And we opened up, our school. I remember Lake Nona, we signed up, it was 82 or 84 students we enrolled on the Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We do a 4-hour grand opening. 82 or 84 students enrolled that day. The school right down the street, they opened up with 80-some students, but it's because we were 3 miles away, and we had like 40 students transfer over from this school, because this school was busting at the seams. So they had 40, plus we enrolled like 40. So they opened with 80-some students. And that's why you strategically place, you know, in this. But you got to blast the area. Go ahead.
I hope Chris is still watching so she can quote you. You know who reads the newspaper? People who subscribe to the newspaper. And Mr. Stewart, yes, daycares are fantastic. I believe there's a right way and there's a wrong way to do daycares. Some people are like, they go into daycare and they do a year-long program in the daycares. They're going to hit up a daycare on Monday, another one on Tuesday, and they do it all year long. That's the wrong way to do it. That's a great way to really exhaust yourself and burn yourself out. I would suggest doing either a 4, 6, or 8 week mini course once a week for those 4, 6, or 8 weeks. So you're seeing them 4, 6, or 8 times. Then a graduation at your martial arts school, which of course for us is a mass intro, and give them a special. And you could go into the same daycare once in the fall, do a 4-week course, once in the spring, do a 4-week course. But yeah, great way to fill up your little ninjas or your pre-skills or your whatever kinder kicks or whatever you call your 4 to 6 year old program.
Right. And by the way, when we say daycares, a lot of people get it in their head that, well, I don't want the 2-year-olds or 3-year-olds. By the way, just like we were talking earlier, martial arts schools that do after school programs and stuff. Well, the daycares do that. The daycares have school age children. So you'd want to go into a daycare center at 3:30, 4 o'clock, do a 30-minute little class, a 4-week course, once a week for 4 weeks or twice a week for 2 weeks. And then you do a mass intro. And basically, Mr. Flores, a mass intro is just when you get a bunch of people to your school, you do a class and you offer them a special to enroll that day, right? And there's a whole thing on MAIA Edge on that. If you're in MAIA Foundations, there's a whole thing on that. But basically, that's all a mass intro is. It cuts time from doing one-on-one appointments to hosting an event. So instead of marketing martial arts classes or lessons, market that you're going to do a free goal-setting seminar for all the kids in the community for the new school year. Or you're going to offer a free safety seminar on a Saturday for all the kids in the community, a 1-hour seminar, or a free success seminar to teach kids how to be successful. Get people to the event, do a class, and then say, look, if anyone's interested, here's an offer that we have for you today. It's not a bait and switch, because I want you to give them great information at that class, but say, if anyone's interested, here's a special to enroll today only. If you'd like to enroll your child, we'd love to have them. And now you get you can get a big number. And by the way, just to show you the systems here, guys, because I know there's a lot of people that just don't believe it, but let me just show you the text, because we did mass intros. And then I get the text. And here, let's see. What I want to show you is the results last weekend. Here, you're not going to be able to see this probably. Yeah, this is a chart. You won't be able to see this on here because it was handwritten on a board and taken a picture. But our Avalon school did a mass intro. 26 kids. It's this, right? 26 kids showed up on the mat. 32 enrolled on a 1-year program at a mass intro. 26 kids showed up.
Yeah, just leave it at that, because then we get some more rumors started. How do they enroll 32 out of 26 people? They count their people as doubles.
And by the way, like these are like here's the July, right? Like this is a text message I got, right? You see their goal was 60, they did 92. Then that school did 94, 209, right? But I'm trying to see the breakdown. These are points. This is a point system that we would teach you to make sure you understand how points work, and why that's so important. But yeah, you're right. People say we had 26 people show up on the mat. How'd you get 32 new students? Well, because those kids have parents. So we got the parents to enroll into our adult program as well. But that's the benefit of having a mass enrollment. When I tell you we enrolled 82 or 84 students at our one grand opening, you're probably not believing that. But that's a mass enrollment. We run classes every 30 minutes at our grand opening so kids can experience a class, and there's food and music and high energy and demos, and and then we have a grand opening special, and we enrolled over those 4 hours 84 people. That our guys downstairs last week enrolled 32 people in one day, in 1 hour, just doing one mass intro. But it was because we were in the school system at Meet the Teacher, and we invited all these kids to a free success seminar. So that is the deal. First one ever will be next weekend. We are following the system. Good luck, Mr. Stewart. Mr. Hawley says, if you haven't started working with the MAIA team, do it. I've been an elite working with TAS since May. Student size has doubled. Revenue has tripled. And best business decision I've ever made so far. And Mr. Hawley, we just want to make sure for everybody who's watching, your revenue tripled because that's one of our strategies. Triple your prices. And like our, the other group consultant said, all we do is tell you to double your prices. And now you see we're not joking. We don't double your prices. We triple your prices. That gives us credibility.
Oh, man.
Your revenue triple.
And the student size has doubled. They've been eating lots of Whoppers and McDonald's. We've doubled up their size and their students.
That's right. So anyway, any parting words, any questions from anybody? And by the way, we appreciate you being on. Be a role model for your students, everybody. Make this industry look a little more educated than some other people in the industry and a lot of people in the industry. Be first class. You know what I'm saying? That's what I ask about our industry or for our industry. But any other questions? What software do you use for student attendance? I'm going to say
whatever one works best for you.
That's exactly right. Don't listen to what we do. Go out and make phone calls and check out the different things in the industry and see what makes most sense for you. That's what I would say to you. Just like a consulting company. Go check us out. I want all of you to check us out. Get on the phone with us, check us out, but go check out everyone else as well. And then find the group that fits best for you. Okay? Oh, look, Miss Ramos. Before MAIA, I drove a Ford Focus. 3 years into it, I drove a Land Rover. By the way, nothing wrong with a Ford Focus. Nothing wrong with a Ford. Ford Focus gets better gas mileage. Just keep that in mind, everybody.
Goodness.
Miss Marianne. I was working with her kids since they were 3 years old and maybe 5, 3 and 4, 3 and 5. And they have kids and careers and in their mid-30s now. She was one of the originals, right? So anyway, thank you, Mr. Perez. Thank you, guys. And
I appreciate everybody. If you have any questions, call Metzger.
That's right, and I'll forward you on. I'm going to call you. You have a minute?
I do.
All right, guys, thanks so much. We'll talk to everybody next week. Thank you, guys.
All right, everybody. Appreciate you guys. Bye-bye.